Fighting Illini had played a much more challenging schedule, and maybe that put on some calluses, maybe some bruises, but they have come back from a couple of big deficits to take the lead over Purdue here, 2 sets there, and Paul Sun on the back with Karchke right. What would head coach Dave Shondell say to his team after they gave up those leads?
Well, a big part of it was the hitting errors. So they got to swing hard, but they got to swing in. And some of those little plays that are big when you do them well and really big when you don't. Passing the ball over the net, setting the ball inside the sideline.
And Purdue, Karch, remember back to sort of the 19-12 advantage in the opening set. They were hitting well into the 300s.
Probably double that.
Yeah, good point. And have dropped well off. Purdue playing some good defense. Ace's serving has been a huge difference in both directions.
And that might have been something that we'd expected. Purdue, Coach Shondell even said, hey, we haven't been the passing team that we expected and hoped to be. So you would expect Illinois to have more aces. And they have. It took a little while for their service pressure, a combination of them serving tougher and Purdue returning back to their normal passing level for them to get the defensive success they needed.
And this is not a trend that Purdue wants to continue. I mean, that's not what good teams do. You do not give up leads. And particularly when you came out playing at a very high level, how do they get back to it?
And at home. In your
great point.
Most comfortable confines is really not where you want to lose that lead.
Lydia Dimke, a change at the setting position, and right away touching that ball and is ruled off the block. Was there a touch? Yeah, the officials look around. The Illinois fans are going, wait a minute, no touch detected. That was really a bang-bang play because it bounced off the tape and out of bounds, but a touch was called by the first referee.
And remember, the starting setter for Purdue, Ashley Evans, actually played all last year as a DS, but then won the spot. But just as we saw Coach Hambly make a change at his quarterback, at his setting position, bringing in Volunas, Purdue looking for a bump, for some help as the referees discuss. Oh, I think they're saying that the ball did not clear. My guess would be that they're saying the ball did not clear the net. Let's see if we can see it. If this touches the block. Oh, no, that's a good call. They did not clear the net.
Not even close. And the only way it ricocheted, the only reason it ricocheted so far back onto Purdue's side, it was so low below the tape that it hit one of the blockers' bodies.
I couldn't tell on that from this angle. So that's a good call.
And good work by the officials getting together, and all that matters is they get it right. And continuing to really struggle, Annie Drews right now is stuffed on the outside. 17 swings, 6 kills, 7 errors.
So that's a net -1. And again, tough for their offense. They depend on her a lot at 4 kills per game to try to produce.
Can Purdue win if she doesn't turn this around?
I don't think so. And part of it is Illinois is serving very well. And so when the ball does go to Drews, the Illinois defenders and blockers know it because they know it has to go to one sideline or the other.
After the kill by Bastianelli, the first time so far through 3 sets that Illinois has gotten off to a good start, as Sam Epinesa comes right back with a kill off the left side. Very, very nice swing for number 4 and wide out of Glen Carbon, Illinois. Here is Neal, the libero. Good block out of the middle once again by number 13, Adelaja. Faye Adelaja, 6'1", redshirt junior.
That's the dig you want, Paul. 10 feet off, get yourself a swing. But the ball went a little tight. Tip into Crittenden. The stuff blocks we've seen are the late arriving Crittenden just slam dunking those back.
Your peripheral vision is very important when Nia Crittenden, number 9 in blue for Illinois, is flying around. And as far as blocks are concerned, Illinois leading in that category 7-5. Shank pass here. Good save, and immediately, why wait? Katie Static on the overpass.
Smith going to her knee on that pass. I prefer passers, if they can, to try to keep their feet, stay better balanced.
Critical service error. I was just about to ask you if Purdue had given up another point, if Dave Shondell would be in a position of having to call a very early timeout.
That was a nice clean serve, flat, no spin.
Unforced error off the left side, unusual so far for Burks. Having a spectacular match, and just like that, it's 5-4. And if you're Purdue, you feel like you're kind of back in this thing. Tough serve again.
Ooh, another tight set.
Oh, big block again by Adelaja.
Wow, Adelaja reaching over. And earlier in that rally, I liked Epinessa's choice. Tight set, so she just kept it in play, give her block and defenders a chance.
Once again, very streaky opening to this set. 3-0 run comes to a close there after the kill by Crittenden. Well, Nia Crittenden not hitting for a great percentage, but if she can continue to improve, what firepower she would add.
Both these teams have the potential in those left-handed opposites that are playing for them.
Epinesa misses that out of bounds, and Purdue's passing, which was absolutely flawless about an hour ago, continues to struggle, Karch. When your team is struggling in receive, what are the messages that you send to them?
Well, for one thing, you just try to focus on one fundamental, and that's put out a good angle. Also know that sometimes teams might be serving tough for a while, tougher than is their normal level, and we've got to be able to wait that out by making smart choices. Remember, Epinesa got a decent set on that one, but then she hit it out of bounds. So just trying to string together good touch after good touch.
Service error there, and Purdue will take possession, and Epinesa will go back to the line. Mentioned that Illinois had played such a very tough schedule. At Wisconsin, at Minnesota, they played Penn State and Ohio State, and then also Nebraska. So it has been a real gauntlet, but it is for everyone. But the schedules are not balanced. Purdue got a little bit lucky in the rotation, if you will. Not only this year and next year, they only play Penn State and Ohio State once, as well as Nebraska. And they get Indiana twice. They get Rutgers and Maryland on a couple of occasions.
And even if things were even, the order of play, Illinois had a much tougher first half of the Big Ten than somebody like Purdue. And they're showing it right now in terms of having been tested.
Oh, there was a touch on the block there. Wow, didn't you see a touch there, Karch?
I thought so, but nobody's arguing, so what do I know?
Well, you want the short answer or the long answer?
But
Karch,
Kevin Hamley didn't protest it. The hitter for Illinois didn't protest it.
Karch, there was a touch. Players missed calls, officials missed calls.
It's interesting because we're having some replay coming into college volleyball, some video challenge and some ability to challenge calls. We see it a lot internationally, and our hitters know more than sooner and more definitively than anybody else. When they think there's a touch, we will challenge on that call.
A little bit off balance, the ball behind her, but no excuse to hit the ball out of bounds by Static. And point Purdue, and now it is 9-8. Linnea Roorson out of Chicago will continue serving. Number 15 in white came on late in the second set as a defensive specialist. Good dig right off the floor by Epinesa, and it leads to a point. Boy, it looked like that ball was down.
Great play. That's what we call playing forward, being balanced enough to go forward if it gets between or through the block, as it did on that. Epinesa, obviously she'd like to keep it on her side, but she kept it off the floor, number one priority. Too close on the pass again.
Short serving starting to pay some dividends, and the roll continues for Purdue. Now a 4-0 run to come back and take the lead 10-9. I'm surprised at how streaky. These are really high quality teams, and I'm really surprised how streaky the play has been.
And this short serve, when she does it for a third or fourth time in a row, shouldn't be a surprise to anyone.
Well, and just given her posture and the way she's approaching, you know it's coming.
And the way the ball is in the air so high, there's a very large arc to that trajectory.
In tennis nomenclature, Johnny Mack would not be liking that drop shot. That one's got way too much air underneath.
Way too much air.
Tied at 10. That ball tucked down inside. We have not called number 20's name, Danielle Coutinho. After she was a perfect 6 for 6 in the opening set, that's just her 8th kill. Here is Evans.
And another short serve with air under it.
Stuff block by Annie Drews on the outside.
Drews has been talking about being strong with that right hand. That's exactly what she's trying to do. Saying the ball has been hitting that right hand and going out of bounds too often. And then an ace for Purdue.
The run is now 7-1. Purdue trailing 2 sets to none after having big leads in the opening couple of sets, and they have a chance to extend here. Drews high up into the block. And Epinesa out of the back row, but a 10-foot violation. You often hear 3 meters internationally. It's exactly 10 feet collegiately, and in order to attack the ball legally, as Sam Epinesa was, as one of the 3 backcourt players, both feet completely behind that 10-foot line. A break there for Illinois, and they needed it to put an end to the bleeding. 7-1 run. Ooh, some really heavy hitting and good defense. That could have been a double contact. Crowd didn't like it. Into the middle again. Dug, but cannot be completed. Coutinho, maybe the best rally of the match so far. Highest quality.
And those things that are just details, Purdue did really well on that play. Epinesa digging off the net. A tip comes over. Drews, as the off blocker, comes up with it.
Smith with a very tough serve, going to be a free ball for Purdue. Looking to extend their lead. And that's going to be a net violation called against Coutinho, number 20 in white. She knew it immediately. Is that something that you have to work on a lot with younger players when they join your program, Karch? Just not being overly anxious and committing those kind of violations? Oh, what a swing by Drews.
Nicely executed as the setter Ashley Evans has come back in. She found some real space there. But yes, I think it's better to be overly aggressive and have to pull the reins back, working on trying to get those hands across the net, than the opposite.
We'll step aside. We've come to the media timeout. Once again, Purdue with the lead. The question is, can they finish? Welcome back once again to Big Ten Volleyball. Coming your way from West Lafayette, Indiana. The Purdue Boilermakers had leads in the first couple of sets, could not finish. They lost the first 26-24. They led 19-16. Illinois came storming back to take it 25-22. And the same scenario, Karch Kirai, once again, Purdue leading 15-12. Drews has had a hot hand lately, and a good setting choice that time by Evans.
And also Alexis Smith on the dig, just keeping it safe. Puts her setter about 12 feet off the net. So they get a good 3 good touches, leading to a point.
8th kill for Drews, and we talked about it and spoke quite frankly. Can Purdue win unless she really starts to put up some numbers? That ball hit out of bounds, a rare mistake by Burks.
And she pulled herself up to more kills than errors, 8-7, so a +1. But an opportunity here to be strong from this point of the match forward.
Illinois,
much more of a positive.
Illinois looking for the touch there, but that ball just out of bounds. Not much middle attack right now for Illinois, but Burks comes back and off the edges of the block, one-on-one scores the point.
That's the matchup we talked about at the top of the show. Burks hitting against the block of Drews. That time Drews, her right hand was not strong, got to it.
Go back to Drews again. Hot hitter, why not just keep going to her? Number 18 in white.
And I really like that choice there. It doesn't, you don't always want to tip just when you're in trouble, but there they are in system running their normal offense. That's going to keep her defenders off balance, create more space for her later.
Yeah, for a lot of young hitters, the best tip is off a perfect set. And off the edge of the block again. This one off of Evans, number 5.
Burks has had so much success hitting that right hand, both of Drews and of Evans that time. I like the choices that she's making. Hitting smart, hitting with range.
Allie Stark going back to serve for Illinois. Very underused, particularly by young players. They're very patterned cross court. Good tip off the second contact. As you hit off the edges of the block, Karch, down the line, there's no defense. That ball's down.
We've seen it happen at least 12, 15 times so far today.
Purdue continues to lead now by 5, but trailing 2-0 before a jam-packed Holloway Gymnasium. Service error there by Epinesa.
So this is a rotation that Illinois can, in theory, score a lot in. Only 2 passers right now. Receiving for Purdue. That's a lot of space to attack.
That's a great call, Karch Kirai, and a very good server back at the line in Jocelyn Burks.
So here comes a different passer in Kate Workman, and they're still going to try and pass with 2, but there's a lot of space between these 2 passers here.
And another point given up. I'm not sure that was a great serve going to the libero, but it worked out all right for Illinois.
I think it's okay if you go to her, but not right to her belly button. If you hit the space around, look at all this space in the middle of the court or into the zone 1 cross court. That didn't make her move so much either.
Good reaction out of the middle of the block by number 12, Katie Static. So once again, Purdue giving up what for at least a moment seemed like a comfortable lead. Now 19-18 and a very concerned head coach, Dave Shondell.
What a good read by Static in the middle. She knows Evans can be aggressive with that left hand, and that's her responsibility. If the hitter, the middle hitter, comes behind, she's going to leave that for her left side.
Really good job following the game plan, because again, Ashley Evans was 4 of 5 attacking out of the setting position in Purdue's win over Northwestern. Want to remind everybody to tune in to Sports Center tonight. The 2 Johns, Anderson and Buchagras, will have a full breakdown of Week 7 in the NFL. Sports Center at night, beginning at 11 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN and streaming live on Watch ESPN. Back with 3-time Olympic gold medalist and U.S. national team head coach Karch Kirai. I'm Paul Sunderland. Thanks so much for joining us. Great atmosphere here at Purdue. We expected that. Expect it in a couple of days' time at St. John's Arena in Columbus, Ohio, when it's Ohio State taking on Penn State. But it is that way, as we talked about at the intermission, Karch, all over the Big Ten. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Penn State. Wonderful crowds and fan support and enthusiasm right around the conference. Burks looking for the tie. Oh, another good block. Static once again.
Yep, the early work done by Burks. A great serve, knocking Purdue out of system, and then Static finishing it with some good work to set up next to her wing blocker.
Another perfect pass. They continue to serve the libero. I know they went on a 6-1 run, but wow, that's maybe going to it a little too often as Catino comes right back with another crush out of the middle.
I'm thinking that they have the numbers, obviously we don't, that Neal isn't as good a passer as the DS that they have in Workman, so they want to attack her, but in the choice of those 2 passers.
Purdue back on top, but now only by 1. Oh, what a play! The play of the match by a fired-up Danielle Catino.
Rustio thought she had an open net. Oh, I'll just swing here. Whoops. All of a sudden, there was an eclipse. Block out the sun.
What an instinctive play. Never stop, never quit. Look how she was so far away. That's the play of the year for me.
And jumping off one foot, staying in the play. It's just like a middle linebacker in football. You got to work to always be somewhere near the ball. And she did exactly that.
Remember that play. It gave Purdue a 21-19 advantage when it looked like it could have easily been a 2-point switch, with Static looking for the floor on what she thought was an open net.
The other thing I like is Hambly. That's a nice timeout just to cool things off. Purdue could really try to feed off of that, try to string some more points. But Illinois gets to set their offense back up and calm things down.
Purdue at 16-4 overall, currently ranked number 19, 7-2 in conference. Illinois 13-7, 4-5 so far in conference, both of them coming off of easy wins earlier in the week. Illinois beat Indiana while Purdue was sweeping Northwestern. And mentioned the difficulty of the schedule for Illinois is now, as we look at the schedule here, Minnesota, Hugh McCutcheon, your old boss at the London Olympic Games, at 9-1, and Minnesota ranked number 9, not in the NCAA tournament last year.
And Minnesota's already played a lot of those teams at the top of the standings.
And into the cross court and out of bounds, no touch. And now the 22-19 advantage for Purdue. They started the season at the Michigans, but they were dealing with some injury issues. Then got Rutgers, Maryland, at Indiana, at home Indiana, all of that relatively easy. And then they lost twice to Ohio State and to Penn State. Pretty easy chance into the cross court that time for Workman, but unable to come up with a dig.
Yeah, I think she needs to come up with that play. Everything was set up to get the ball to her. Most of the defender's work is just getting hit by the ball. She did that part nicely. Another two-passer formation, and they still choose to go at Neal.
And Ashley Evans maybe bailed out Purdue that time with a very necessary play.
I agree. Using her right hand that time to jam it to the floor.
Katie Raustio, number 11, 6'2" junior, on now. Hitting out on the left side and immediately going to get another swing and missed that down the line. Ball was just long, and now 4 set points for Purdue. But remember, Karch, all the way back, they had 2 set points in the opening set.
Nice up.
Dig by Evans, and off the top of the tape and missed by Drews. Now set point number 2, Crittenden comes back on.
Look at all this space over here to Neal's right.
Area number 1 is wide open, and again to the libero, but not a good pass. Into the cross court. Very nice swing by Raustio, and that is 2 set points saved once again. And if you're Purdue, I'll tell you what, you're starting to feel some real pressure right now as we've got a substitution.
And they bring Alexa Smith in so that they can pass with 3 and cut down some of the big spaces they were trying to defend.
Purdue, set point number 3. Got to go to Coutinho. And she got a touch. Look at the
you see the look on her face.
A couple of great reactions for Danielle Coutinho. Maybe when she came out of nowhere to block a ball, she saved the day. And then watch this one.
Yeah.
Did I get a piece? Was it in?
She was like, how did that go in? Look at the side spin on that ball. That should not land in the court, but she came down with that look of shock.
So Purdue had a handful of set points. They needed them all, and they are on the board. Purdue is on the board, winning the third set 25-22, and that young woman responsible, Danielle Catino, number 20 in white, made one amazing play at the end of that set.
That's got to go on the top 10. Off 1 foot and shut down the ball. She almost touched it before the hitter did.
And remember the situation at the time. It was 20-19. If Illinois is able to put that ball away, to 20 all, and it's anybody's set. And also Purdue was facing elimination down 2-0 after the Fighting Illini won the first set 26-24 and the second 25-22. Back with Karch Kirai, I'm Paul Sunderland. Thanks for joining us. And kind of what we expected. Surprised by all of the runs and some of the inconsistent play, but boy, it has been intense. And it has been very, very competitive as Crittenden comes through with the first kill off the right side.
Interesting, each of the 3 sets, the team that gets out to the early lead doesn't close it out. Maybe that's what they want to accomplish here.
Not a good way to make a living as a coach.
No.
Great swing by Drews, over the block and right in the back 2 or 3 feet of the court.
And that kind of swing takes the block right out of play. With her height, at 6'4", she can do that. Go right over.
And Burks comes right back. And speaking of Annie Drews, I asked you, Karch, at about the 18-19, or maybe it was even a little bit earlier point of the third set, can Purdue win unless Drews picked it up? You said no. I agreed with you. She did pick it up, and they closed out the set.
Had that smart play where she tipped for a kill late.
And Epinesa is able to get that ball to the floor. Not nearly as many sets, even when Purdue is in system going to the middle. You surprised by that? Because they just owned that at the beginning of the match.
I think they got a little jumpy when Illinois did a double commit and shut that one down. Trying to pick their spots a little more.
Oh, what a swing. Jocelyn Burks has been absolutely tremendous. Wearing number 7 in blue.
Hitting far above her season average. Her season average is just a little over 200. That's not superb, not stellar for an outside hitter. She's almost doubling it at 375 in this match so far.
Good block on the perimeter as well. Number 11. Katie Rostio, who's come on and really given some nice work for Illinois out on the left side offensively, and they're blocking as well. Epinesa, nicely done down the left side. Karch, nice dig. You still got it.
See, I didn't put it back over the net. Keep it high enough.
Well, that is one of my pet peeves, match in, match out. Dig the ball to the 10-foot line. It's much better than being a foot over the net. Much better.
And yet, I know there are a lot of coaches who would disagree with that and would want to put their setter really close, feel like the rhythm of the offense gets diminished or hurt by passing off the net. I'm not one to subscribe to that particular theory.
Azaria Stahl. Very, very good at the beginning of this match, particularly in the first set with a kill coming on late. Nice looking left side hitter, number 10 in white. Tied at 4. And the service error there. Illinois leading 2-1. Illinois ranked number 18 in spite of the fact that they're 4 and 5 in conference. Purdue ranked 1 spot below, and they're 7-2 in conference as Allison Palmer comes on now as a defensive specialist to serve.
I think Purdue's rankings hurt a little just by some of the I guess the order of the teams that they're playing in the Big Ten got a little less challenged early.
That ball off the block and out of bounds off of Bastianelli. And Stahl once again. Stahl's got a very fast arm swing. Look at her numbers now, 7 of 15, hitting for a pretty nice efficiency. Overall, neither team is up to their season averages. 165 for Illinois, 176 for Purdue.
Oh,
and gonna come away with a kill. Rustio once again, but that ball's got to be dug.
Yeah, you're not going to plan that serve, but when it hits the tape and rolls over and you make the setter touch the first one, you got to think, oh, we've got a great chance for a point, and then and there it is, the serve just crossing the tape, making Volunas play it. So Purdue had a great chance for a point, couldn't come up with it.
Good shot up into the block, trying to restart the point, and then high flyer Danielle Coutinho will take care of the rest.
Yeah, I like that shot better than the tip to Crittenden, who is just going to jam it right back to the floor as a blocker.
Rostio once again, look at her numbers. She's come off the bench to really do a nice job. That's 4 kills on 8 swings. She does have 3 errors, but has continually gotten the Fighting Illini out of trouble, and head coach Kevin Hambly certainly appreciates it. Yeah, he's very happy with the production he's gotten.
And he's also happy to get Burks up at the net where she's been scoring so well for him. And now she might have a chance.
Crittenden trying to cut off that wrist away. Thought that Purdue did a better job of getting in front of her down the line. Nia Crittenden, the transfer from the University of Oregon, with the unforced error. And not coming back home. She's from Modesto, California. What a dig in the backcourt that time by Amanda Neal, the libero. And then down the line by Epinesa.
That's what Purdue wanted on that earlier play, getting him out of system again. Not out of system, actually. That was offense run just the way Illinois wanted, but Neal still comes up with it. What a great touch, and she keeps it off the net.
Volunas was there down the line, almost took it away from her libero. And again, off the edges of the block, it makes it almost impossible. What do you do to counteract that, Karch, as a blocker?
Well, you might step out a little wider sometimes so that what they think is the edge of the block is actually hitting you in the nose, in the middle of your hands. You got to be really strong with that right hand.
Coutinho with another kill out of the middle. Continuing her very productive afternoon, now 12 kills on 22 swings. Her counterpart out of the middle, Faye Adelaja, equally impressive with 10 of 18. Burks once again. Red hot all afternoon long for Illinois. Is their 2-time All-American, All-American second team last year, and 2 times All Big Ten.
19 kills now, only 5 errors.
Epinesa again, so it's one hot left side hitter balancing off against another. Illinois leading 2-1, Purdue on top 10-9.
Watch the defense. Big gaping hole in the middle of the court when the middle back for Illinois moves to her right.
Epinesa is going to get another chance on the roll shot.
Oh, got to use 2 hands, 2 arms on that by Drews.
On the slide off the edge of the block, Epinesa is looking for the touch, but give the kill to number 12, Katie Static. Very nice execution.
And that's the same thing. No matter how strong you are with that hand, if the hitter hits it in the right spot, good chance it's going out of bounds.
Brandy Donnelly, the libero, wearing the off-color jersey for Illinois, doing some good scrambling here in this 4th set. Talk about scrambling and getting a little bit lucky. Another good choice, a lucky result. Rostio, everything going her way right now off the left side.
And some confusion on the Purdue block. Only the middle jumped. You'd like to have either nobody up or both blockers up, not confusion. Like
yeah, that's a mental error by Purdue when they were in control of the point.
Oops.
Inaccurate set, free ball here for Purdue. Out to Epinesa again, and lots of room down the line. Sam Epinesa averaging 2.2 kills out of Glen Carbon, Illinois, all 32 matches last year. Her hitting percentage is up about 35 points so far this year. There she is, number 4 in white. Rustio again. This has got to be a surprise for her to come in and put up this kind of production. I'm going to look at the season-long stats for Illinois and take a quick look and see how much time she spent on the floor. Been pretty active, averaging 2.4 kills per set.
Oh, nice up.
And ripped by Stahl. Two heavyweights going back and forth, tied at 12.
Yeah, Allie Stark, who plays some opposite, some DS, does a lot of different things for Illinois. Came up with the first one, couldn't react to the block deflection on the second. Boy, Burks got fooled by that one.
Looking to break the tie off the top of the block, saved by Evans. Momentum swing here, and Bastianelli is stuffed by Stahl out on the right side.
Look at how far across the net those hands are for Stahl before hitter contact ever was made.
Ball dropped a little bit inside. Beautiful dig in the backcourt by Workman. A chance for Purdue to extend, but instead, Rustio once again. I looked at the stats. She'd only played in 27 sets coming in, so far, at least in Big Ten play, having the match of the season.
And Volunas made a nice choice to go back to the hitter because the Purdue blockers thought she would go the other way after the first swing that she'd set somewhere else.
Tied at 13.
Nice up.
Volunas again into the cross court. Excuse me. That's Rustio for the kill. Volunas will come back to serve once again. And now Illinois has come back to take the lead by 1.
Just like last game, Volunas has a lot of space to serve at with just 2 passers across the net for Purdue.
Combination play by Drews out of the back row. And a much needed kill for Annie Drews. Again, 6'4" senior out of Elkhart, Indiana. 3.9 kills per set last year. Honorable mention All-American. And has upped those totals this year. And number 11 again, Rustio gets the kill for Illinois. We have come to the media timeout with Illinois coming back to lead 15-14 here in the fourth. Standing room only crowd here at Holloway Gymnasium, home of the Boilermakers. Left side to Drews, dug again nicely by Danielle Davis, defensive specialist. Boy, Purdue not setting the ball into the middle very often in transition. They're going to get a free ball here. Burke struggling with some not such great sets, but then finally a double contact is called against the setter Ashley Evans, and on the ball handling error, Illinois now leading by 2.
Really a little surprised that that one got called when the ball here by Volunas was exactly the same, and Coach Shondell not happy about it. Well, got to call it even.
That's a huge call. Purdue in a must-win situation, trailing 2-1. Drews outside the block of Crittenden and down. I continue to be surprised, Karch, even on some in-system passes and also some pretty good passes, that Purdue isn't using their dynamic middle blockers more.
Just wondering if they got away from it, not liking that double commit that they failed on. Oh, what a nice move.
Danielle Tatino again. Wow, spectacular block.
Some rare success against Burks. And she just shuffled over and still gets way off the ground.
5 stuff blocks now for Catino, wearing number 20.
Nice out.
Dug by Smith in the backcourt. And kept in by Epinesa, but a better block coming right back is Ali Bastinelli, wearing number 5 in blue for Illinois. And now back and forth we go.
The block was not fooled by that one. I get what Epinesa was trying to do. She was trying to actually get it over the block, short, and get Volunis, the setter for Illinois, to have to touch that first play, get them out of their offense. But she has to get a little higher to do that.
Here's the libero for Illinois, Brandy Donnelly. Shank pass into the antenna, and the service winner for Donnelly. And now it's an 18-16 advantage, and Dave Shondell has seen enough, the head coach for Purdue. He's going to call a timeout with his Boilermakers trailing 2-1. And while we've got a timeout, want to remind everybody it's week 7 from Monday Night Football on ESPN, and we have a shootout in the desert coming your way. Joe Flacco quarterbacks the Ravens against the NFC West leading Cardinals. And Carson Palmer coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6 o'clock Eastern, also streaming live on Watch ESPN, which is without doubt the best app ever invented. As I'm traveling around this fantastic country, I can be in airports, and if I need to catch up on my scouting, if it's basketball or volleyball or something I just want to check in on, golf, mind you, I can go to Watch ESPN most of the time.
Can't go wrong with that. So many matches on for replay that you can pull up a couple taps.
And speaking of that, Karch Kirai and I will be going to Columbus, Ohio for a match between Penn State and Ohio State coming your way on ESPN this Wednesday night. And I'm sure I'll spend some time on Watch ESPN so I can get an updated look at both of those fine schools. A lot more parity this year, Karch, than last. I know that BYU was a huge surprise with the run they made, but it seemed like there were 3 or 4 teams that were kind of a lock to get to the national semifinals. This year it seems like there's as many as 10.
Certainly more early losses by some teams that you'd expect might go undefeated or close to it. For example, Penn State losing at Northwestern. Northwestern doing such a great job of that upset, but seeing a few more upsets like that.
Florida comes to mind. Highly regarded, very, very talented in each and every position. They lost in Hawaii, okay, but then they lost 3 straight matches in conference. That was, but they've now righted the ship. They've now won 5 or 6 in a row. And they, I think, are as talented as any. Oh, that ball was very close, but called out of bounds.
And those are the ones that internationally you want to challenge more than anything, that ball that skips across the line. Another one we might have expected might have been a better match was, ooh, that was close. Wow. Texas against Kansas just a couple of nights ago. You worked that one?
Yeah, Texas was absolutely superb. And the Longhorns, you know, they've only had 1 loss all season long, and that was to Florida. We've got a timeout here just so to continue the thought with Purdue back on top 19-18. But Texas has continually improved, particularly in the areas of ball control. Remember Eric Sullivan, outstanding player at UCLA, your alma mater, and also for the United States in a couple of Olympics. He's the defensive specialist and defensive and receivers coach at Texas, so give he and Jared Elliott, and of course Tanya Johnson, their assistants, a lot of credit. Texas ball control against a team like Kansas the other night was as good as I've seen in years. They were superb.
That's not what they've been known for.
Correct.
They've been known for the spectacular jumping ability, explosiveness, hard hitting at the net. Of course, you got to give a lot of props to Mick Haley with Coach Mick Haley with USC. They've changed their system a lot. They used to run a very slow, static system, and they're going much more dynamic now. And their players, especially Sam Bricio, have embraced that, and now they're the lone unbeaten.
Purdue trailing 2-1, but on top now, coming out of the Illinois timeout, leading 19-18. Back and forth we go. This match, albeit a 3-1 run now by Purdue, has not been as up and down as the first 3 sets, where one team would go on a 5-1 run and then another would come back with a 7-2 run. Very uncharacteristic for teams of this caliber. Amanda Neal coming out of the timeout to serve. Great cover that time by the libero Donnelly, and a better block on the outside by Annie Drews. The two stars going at one another. You mentioned that matchup early on.
We thought we'd see it in the first time. Drews with the strong right hand. This one goes, she turns it in with both. Wrapped her hands around the ball.
Has not had the best offensive afternoon, but Drews being a factor here. Late blocking, beautiful set. Katie Static off the perfect pass by number 10, Danielle Davis. That was the key, the first ball reception.
Yep, lots of space to attack here. No help from Drews as the wing blocker, even though the ball came in her area.
A chance into the top of the tape. Volunas trying to go on two and missed that by just a couple of centimeters. What do you think about the choice?
I like it. She was wide open. Purdue was not ready for it.
I like the choice as well. Little unlucky right into the top of the tape, and Drews coming right back and missing that serve badly. 21-20, Purdue leading, but trailing 2-1.
Purdue's got to think, really like to close out the lead. They lost leads late in both the first two sets to fall down 2-0.
Burks now in the back row, although she is available as an attacker, just serving number 7 in blue. Off the top of the tape, and then Donnelly and Burks, the libero, collide and can't come up with the ball.
Yep, there's still that space that is left in the middle of the court when your middle back defender takes a step or two to the right.
And they're doing that because they think Epinesa likes that seam. So overloading in that area. Here comes Workman. Purdue leading 22-20. Kind of feels like 5, doesn't it, Karch? If we get to 5, it'll be a 15-point tiebreaker.
This is the play Purdue wants. They're set up. Oh, they got the poor pass. They got the scramble set, but the ball just squeaked through the block.
10 kills now for Rustio on 16 swings, hitting over 400. What a lift she has given to Illinois. What a block by Bastianelli. Like you said, middle blockers like the middle linebacker, make sure you get involved in the play.
And what I like about this, she doesn't get all the way there, Bastianelli doesn't, but wherever she was, even if she was a few feet away from her wing blocker, she got her hands across the net for the stuff.
Tied at 22. And into the middle. Pressure killed that time by Adelaja.
And not an easy one. She had 2.5 blockers on her. Illinois was thinking she was getting the set, so they had their defense well prepared.
And Adelaja gives way to the defensive specialist and then to the libero, but that means that Patino, number 20, is back in the front court. And off the top of the net and out of bounds, and avoiding Patino. And now it is 2 set points for Purdue. Rorson will continue to serve for the Boilermakers. Crowd on their feet. And right on cue, Danielle Patino with the tap down. And we're going to play 5, Karch Kirai. This crowd was awfully nervous about an hour ago when Purdue gave up big leads in both the first and second set, and they have scratched and clawed all the way back to take the third and now the fourth, 25-22. We'll step aside. The 5th set tiebreaker to decide it when we come back. Well, it's Big Ten volleyball, so you know you're going to get a lot of very long competitive matches, and this is no different. Illinois and Purdue going 5 sets. Back with Karch Kirai, I'm Paul Sunderland. We were just looking at the numbers. Purdue, 30 hitting errors on the course of the afternoon. 27 of those coming in the first 3 sets. They've really cleaned things up with only 3 in the fourth. That was clearly the key.
And they only won by 3, so those were really important to cut that error, the number of errors down. They were averaging 9 hitting errors in each of those first 3 sets, and then only 3 in the fourth. They keep that up, they should be in much better shape.
A look at the numbers. It's been a very, very close match throughout. Illinois has had the better of it serving. 15-point tiebreaker. Only change, obviously, big is the score. Teams will change sides at 8. But do you as a coach approach this abbreviated set any differently than you would the previous 4?
The only thing you might do is figure out, okay, who's our best server? Can we start near a rotation that gets her up to bat twice in the set? Because you're really probably only going to get around, that is, rotate around back to the start and a half again. Maybe a rotation and a half across.
Service error to start for Illinois. That's a really good point, Karch, because it's like in hitting, you want your best hitters to go through the order as many times as possible.
And if it works out really well, you get your best hitters at the net and your best servers up to bat early, all at the same time. Rarely does that actually work out that way.
Crittenden off the right side, beautiful stuff by Adelaja, and Purdue breaks out early, 2-0. Burke starting in the left front, exactly to your point, Karch. Not a good swing here. Was not a very good set. And Epinesa finds a small hole in the block. And it's 3-0. And a quick timeout called by Kevin Hambley.
And on many other swings, Burks might have hit that off the end hand for a kill. That time she just looped it in to middle, to the middle back, and Purdue able to run its offense.
Back in the 15-point tiebreaker between these two teams, both 0-2 in 5-set matches. That ball hit straight out of bounds by Burks. Same number of timeouts available, even though the set is only to 15. So Kevin Hambley, the head coach of Illinois, has taken one. Dave Shondell of Purdue has not needed to take one as yet. Illinois got to get out of this rotation. Into the middle, beautiful dig that time by Neal. And Burks somehow, off speed, finds a small seam. Again in that area, Karch, between the middle back and the left back defender.
As soon as that middle back shifts to her right, it leaves space, and Burks found it.
Here is Donnelly. She's been outstanding all afternoon. Has been her counterpart, Neal. That could have been a lift. Do you go to Crittenden? No, out of the middle. Donnelly all over that. Big swing here on the left side again, off the top of the block. And a better swing by Epinesa. Exactly the same spot. Is that lack of adjustment, or is that just staying in your game plan too long?
Different teams use different systems defensively with their backcourt players, and some of them like to shift to their right, as Illinois did that time, leaving a space in the middle of the court for Epinesa to find.
Big early lead for Purdue, trying to come back, and just as I say that, a service error from Annie Drews, 5-2. Purdue trying to come back from 2 sets down. That ball looked like Purdue had a chance to play that, but a very good block by 6'3" junior Katie Static.
And lots of nice help from Burks. You can see 2 players trying to be involved in that. Burks a little late.
Epinesa had a chance late. Shank pass here. Going to be a free ball. Illinois trying to get right back in it within 1.
Nice up.
Beautiful dig by Donnelly. Huge pressure swing by Burks, and then answering on the other end, Amanda Neal. Both liberos, superb plays. And Epinesa off the block and out of bounds.
Wow, how well played by Purdue. It started with an early block that turned the ball back into the court. A tip that Drews was on. Drews comes up with a dig later. Neal comes up with a play. 4 great defensive plays before they finally got the swing.
Remember, the teams will change sides at 8. Oh, great pass under pressure, but that ball wristed away down the line and out of bounds. And remember, Kevin Hambley already took a timeout. He doesn't dare take another right before the side change.
Nice read by Drews.
Burke's taking a lot of swings, got to find a way to put a ball away. Back to Static on the slide, soft block by Stahl, and tip to the floor. And at the side change, all of the momentum wearing white for Purdue.
Which means it's probably going to be close down the stretch if you watch this match.
Well, hearkening back, if you haven't been with us since this tipped off at about 1 o'clock Eastern time, Purdue had big, comfortable leads in both the first and second set. Saw those disappear.
Eerily familiar with this lead right now.
Crushed to the floor. Nice repeat after a couple of unforced errors by Static as number 12 comes back with a big kill. 8-4. Illinois has got to be really good from here on out if they want to get back in.
But they have plenty of time. And look who comes in, Jordan Poulter, to help on the block. We'll see if they leave her in or if Valunas is getting ready to come right back in after this serving series.
Poulter at 6'2", very physical. That ball sprayed out of bounds by Drews.
And that's what erased those leads in the first sets. Lots of mistakes out of bounds, hitting errors by Purdue.
You know, that's like an open jump shot in basketball. You know, when it's crunch time, you got to knock down that 15-footer. Everything was right there, and Drews just missed it.
Another easy play for Illinois. Oh, nice cover.
Wonderful cover by Static. And down the line and missed. Rustio has been superb, number 11 for Illinois, but missed it wide. Lots of hitting errors in this pressure-packed fifth set. Number 15, Linnea Rorson comes on.
She's been dropping it short a lot. Certainly be watching for that if I were Illinois.
And they should certainly know it by now. There's the short serve. Ball left a little bit inside. And ball hit out of bounds. Drews just missed that on the pipe after a superb dig by number 6 Workman.
Look at all these hitting errors. Don't need great plays to close this out for either team. Just need strings of good ones.
Well, as coaches say, when your best is needed, that's the time you have to deliver it. 9-6, Purdue leading. They got out to the 3-0 lead. They had a comfortable lead at the side change. Stahl unloading cross court. A magnificent jump and swing. Stahl now with 10 kills on 26 swings. 4 attackers in double figures. As you might imagine, we're into the 5th set. Burke still leading the way with 20, followed by Rustio with 10 for Illinois. That ball turned out of bounds, looking for the touch, none there. Dave Shondell looking at the linesman, hoping against hope, but he knew full well it was out of bounds.
Now, this is not one of the 3 Big Ten sites with video challenge.
For an old style combination play, an X pattern in the middle. And Crittenden, a hitting error there. I'm not sure that Coutinho got any part of that. I just think that number 9 in blue, Nia Crittenden, missed the wrist away.
Seems like we've had as many points earned as just given with all of the service and hitting errors we've had this set.
Here's Alexa Smith.
Nice up.
Coming to Drews once again. Another big swing into the deep cross-court corner. And another timeout now called by Illinois. Illinois is out of timeouts. And remember, coming into this match, Karch, we were talking about the very difficult schedule that Illinois had faced. And yes, going 18-19, Illinois versus Purdue. If you look at their upcoming schedule, at home versus the Michigans, at home and away against Northwestern, this was a chance for Illinois to really get healthy in the standings after such a difficult start at Wisconsin, at Minnesota, and then taking on Ohio State and Purdue. And for Illinois, for Purdue, I should say, we talked about the fact that they had the easier schedule up front. And quite frankly, because of the rotational schedule, a little bit easier schedule all around, only playing Ohio State and Penn State once. Here's Purdue's upcoming schedule. This would be, well, how easy does it get? At Wisconsin and Minnesota, I take all of that back. And then against Nebraska, yeah, that doesn't sound so easy.
Not at all. Can't come up for air in this conference.
Purdue here just 3 points away. As a side note, Amanda Neal and her counterpart, Brandy Donnelly, the two liberos respectively for Purdue and Illinois, have been superb. And Neal just one dig away from 1,100 for her career. Purdue trailed 2-0. They have given up leads. Can they hold on to this one? 12-7 obviously is pretty comfortable in the 5th set tiebreaker to 15. Off the block and down. Not perfectly executed, but Crittenden and Illinois will take it. Crittenden again, good touch one-on-one by Epinesa. And into the top of the tape, a rare mistake on the afternoon for Danielle Coutinho. And now the pressure builds little by little.
The defense of Illinois forcing her into that, getting 2 blockers, 4 hands in front of her.
Drews ripping into the cross court, brilliant dig by Davis. Epinesa, high flying and arriving late, Nia Crittenden.
Did you see? She had her armpits over the net on that. No place to go for Epinesa. And, yep, here it comes.
Wow, head and shoulders over the net for Crittenden, number 9.
Got her arms horizontal, and there is no lead safe at any point in this match tonight. Timeout
Called by Purdue. They have 1 remaining. Could be important. Illinois is out of timeouts. Illinois at 13-7, 4-5 in conference, but ranked 1 spot ahead of Purdue. The level of play has been spectacular at times. It has not been consistent from first serve to what will be last as we take a look at the current standings. Once again, Nebraska falls, if you will, to 7-3. They're going to be in the picture, make no mistake. Too talented, too well coached, but they lost twice at home this week to Minnesota and to Wisconsin. Ohio State right there. Karch and I will be in Columbus on Wednesday night as they take on Penn State. Who else do you like? Florida, Texas. Who else do you like from out in the Pac-12?
Well, certainly Washington. Yeah. Well, first, certainly USC is having a fantastic year, and then Washington also very strong.
Magnificent kill by Drews.
USC is the #1 ranked team in the country, undefeated, has been putting together an incredibly strong season after a couple of down ones.
Lots of contenders. Drew with her 16th kill on 47 swings. Purdue 2 points away from coming back from 2 sets down. There is dig number 1100. Good kill on the cutback by Bastianelli, number 5.
Adelaja put that ball over, a little impatient, just gave an easy one to Illinois. Much better choice is pass it to her setter, then maybe she could hit on the 3rd contact.
13-11. Oh, and a service error. Wow. What a gift from Illinois to Purdue. 3 match points. And Brooke Peters, defensive specialist, will come in.
She got the serve she wanted, got the pass off the net.
And going to get a free ball. Where do you go with this? And Epinesa high off the block, and Purdue has come all the way back to win it in 5. Boy, a huge comeback for Purdue. Obviously, it helped to be at home. I mentioned they were a very, very tough out. Drews led them in 15 kills. Epinesa was superb with 14. Adelaja and Catino with 12 apiece. And for Illinois, that's got to be a heartbreaker. They fall to 4-6 in conference, Karch, and 13-8 overall.
And they looked at this as a really important match with more on the way, trying to keep the losses to a minimum in this tough conference.
Well, you mentioned it right before first serve. It might be moving day in the Big Ten Conference, particularly what happened above both Purdue and Illinois. But Purdue comes all the way back.